Coming up on this episode of the Spiro podcast.
If you had the decision right now with the information you now have, would you do that process the same way? Would you say yes to that client, yes to that employee, yes to that decision? That is what the legacy tax essentially is.
Welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd and Craig Magwell.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform. It's designed to help you run your day-to-day real estate media business and ultimately help it scale and grow as well. If you're a returning visitor, a returning listener or viewer, welcome. If you're a first-time viewer or listener, welcome as well. We are really excited to have you in because our whole goal in this podcast is to help you grow a strong business. Lots of great resources out there on all the creative end of what we do as real estate media professionals. But we want to help you build a strong business, get some core business, what's the word I'm looking for, Todd? Business principles.
Yes.
Principles. Very important things to your business. All right, that voice, Todd Kivimaki, our Spiro owner and founder, co-host of the podcast. Todd, welcome.
Craig, excited to be on this week. I just going to challenge you guys in a few ways, give you some updates, and I'm just excited to be here for another week.
Yeah, for sure. Got an interesting topic this week that we're looking forward to. And before we do that, as usual, we like to go and see what's going on with Spiro, the software, the company, the conference. What's going on these days, Todd?
Yeah, so Spiro Sync 2027 is coming up, January of 2027. Check it out at spiro.media. Click Spiro Sync. Grab your tickets. Last I heard, I think there was literally 2 or 3 of the VIP class. All the other general admission, they're great tickets. You get most of the conference for that. You get to eat, come play, have fun. If you don't have something booked, if you've been thinking about it, grab it now. I know y'all are getting ready to take kids back to school and there's a lot going on and business is still busy. But if you grab your plane ticket to Cincinnati, Ohio, you're going to save a little bit of money because booking it closer is just going to cost you more money with accommodations. So Tickets will remain the same, but Spiro Sync 2027, excited about that. As far as Spiro updates, we are working on some exciting things. So immediately we're adding the ability to mention a photographer, fine-tune adjustments to invoices. You guys have asked us for a good amount of things. We're going to get them all done. We're looking at also just some more insight to emails and email deliverability. If it failed, why did it fail? Why did it fail? How many times has it been opened, etc. So just bringing you some clarity around those items. Looking ahead to the future, the next big updates will be an enhancement to the way your agents use the marketing toolkit, the media in there, the flow, the download page. And then beyond that, we are going to give you what I'm calling Shopping Cart 2.0. And this is everything that you guys have given us. We are reimagining it with, working with hundreds of thousands of listings now and requests from you all. So thank you for those requests. But that'll round out the year for us.
Excellent. And speaking of requests, we'll mention this at the beginning of the podcast. We want this podcast to be of benefit to you, to provide relevant, useful content. We don't want to just drone on and have an episode that's just filling space. So we encourage you, please feel free to drop us an email, hello@spiro.media with a topic that you would like to see covered. Maybe, some sort of business question that maybe you're wrestling with right now, or something that you're thinking about for the future. And if we don't have, if we don't know the subject material well enough, we'll find somebody that does, because we want to give you good content that's going to actually benefit you. We don't want to just fill time here. So hello@spiro.media. You can also drop us a comment on the YouTube channel in the comments for this episode. And we check that as well. And we would love to hear your ideas for future content that's going to be of benefit to your business. All right. shall we move on, Todd?
Yeah, Craig, but I noticed something in your background that kind of triggered something for me.
Yes. Oh, that right there.
Yeah, our
Oh, there
friends
we
from
go.
Glasgow, Stephen and Eduardo.
Yeah.
Stephen and his wife, they had a baby. Congrats, Stephen.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Reading through your post, it was quite a delivery process. But we're praying for you guys and thinking of you guys. So congratulations on your growing family.
Absolutely. Those photos were precious.
Yeah.
So anyway, we love connecting with you all. I'm primarily only really active on Facebook, but feel free to send us, friend requests. We'd love to connect and then talk shop. We're not always on there, but we do like to make connections that way and just build community.
Craig, me too. Is this a sign that we're old because we're only on Facebook?
I think it is.
Oh,
I am on Instagram, but I don't do much there. I've never done TikTok. I'll just admit it. Threads, not busy. I'm busy. It's like I got other stuff I've got to do.
Yeah, like you have things to attach to your roof.
I do. Do we really want to go there? We might chew up too much time on the podcast.
Craig is putting some antenna on his roof this weekend because he's trying to send signals to Mars, I believe.
No, that's a different type of antenna, and it's to the moon, not to Mars. It's called EME, Earth, Moon, Earth.
I know we have one listener that is a radio. I'm sorry, what's the term?
A ham?
A ham, yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully that individual is listening. Everyone else is like, what are you talking about?
Tracy Hoffman, one of our listeners and a fellow person in the business here, tagged me on a Facebook post that was a ham joke. Thinking of you, Craig.
Yes.
Anyway, yes, I am putting a new antenna up on the roof, and it's not a small project. Got a crew of guys coming over this weekend to help me, and I'm smoking a Wagyu brisket as a thank you to them. Yeah. So 2 big projects, smoking the brisket and installing a beam antenna. So anyway, okay, we don't want to bore people with that.
Well, Craig, we do owe them one more update. So getting into something that is actually meat and potatoes here.
Right.
We have been discussing the hiring and training of a photographer in your area, and we've promised to give some updates. So do you mind just giving us a quick update here?
Yeah. So Tony, who has joined our team Toledo here in Ohio, is making great progress. She's actually started shooting listings basically on her own. I'm still there with her. We're still reviewing things before we leave. So she's getting very comfortable with that. She has actually expressed thanks to me for trusting her, for me to actually go sit out in the car. I'm checking emails, following up on other things, and letting her start to own the process in the house. And that's been like a confidence boost to her. And I want to make sure that I'm not hovering, right? I don't like when sellers or realtors are right over my shoulder when I'm shooting. And so just trying to remember that I don't want to be right over her shoulder. She's she's a graduate with a cinematography degree. She has a great eye. I've got to trust her and start to it's just like a parent, you got to let your kids fly. So, it's going well. She's capturing some fantastic photos, instituting the training that she's gotten through both our written manual and then also on the job training, things that I've been sharing with her. Video is coming along greatly. Some things are clicking there for her, and just every day is getting better and better. So not a real specific update, but just progress. And I think she's going to be out on her own faster than we figured.
Now, Craig, we're recording at the end of our week, and we just have some small talk at the beginning before we hit record. And you kind of share with me like, this felt like a big week.
Yeah.
So can you kind of share the insight and what you're feeling? Because we want to be transparent with you all. Like, training's not an easy thing.
Yeah. I've been training now 2.5, 3 weeks or so. And I've noticed I've just been like exhausted at the end of the day. And I mean, that can be a normal feeling if you're doing, 5, 6, sometimes 7 jobs a day, you're just physically tired. But I've noticed I've just been mentally tired, and I was at first I was kind of struggling to figure it out. And I think it dawned on me is that the training is the only different thing that's been happening in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Mhm.
And the training has been going well. I really like our new hire, and I know she's going to do fantastic, and she's got a great attitude. Like, I have no complaints. There's nothing draining me in terms of I think there's an issue, because I don't. And I was actually mentioning this to my brother-in-law, who is a psychology professor at a university in Indiana. And he said, well, Craig, when you train somebody, when you're invested in teaching somebody to help them be a success, it could be an emotional drain. There's something that happens on an emotional level. And I thought about it, and he's right. I'm emotionally invested in the success of Tony because I want to see business grow in our market. And it's been a long time coming, having somebody join our team in my market. And I really, really want this to go well and to succeed, and for Tony to enjoy what she's doing, and to see the business grow and succeed. And so, like, I realized I've, like, personally got a lot invested in this for this to succeed, for Tony to succeed. And it's just been kind of a mental, emotional drain, not in a bad way. It's just taken a lot of energy.
Yeah. This just makes me think of these stages in our business where we begin to plateau. And to get off that plateau, you got to start pushing that ball back up. And it's like you don't have momentum, and you got to do new things.
Yeah.
The activities you did last year don't work this year to get you past this point, and it just takes energy.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling tired out there, like, you might just be, we talked about this a week or two ago, I believe, but
Yeah.
typically, like, when you feel like, oh, is this just right for me? Should I just go back to the job? Should I sell? Your breakthrough might be just around the corner. You almost might be there. I think that's where you're at, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, there's the temptation of, do I just maintain status quo? I've been happy shooting by myself, but at the same time, it's been that not stress. What's the word I'm looking for? I know if I stay where I am, I'm going to fall behind. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. But there's that temptation to just kind of maintain the status quo because it's comfortable, and I've been comfortable, making a decent profit up here, and I'm making a living, and but I know I can't stay there. And yeah, it's been a lot of introspection the last couple of weeks, but it's good, and I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to see somebody new experiencing that excitement, and she wants to have a camera in her hands and enjoy the work that she's doing. So, I'm trying to make it fun for her, just make it a great experience. And I really want to see her enjoy this work as much as I do. So,
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing, Craig.
Yeah.
We'll continue to give you all updates as, things happen on our end, and just to keep you updated with the process that we take, and how that train's been going.
Yep. Excellent. Alrighty. Well, that is it for updates. Thanks for sticking with us through all of that. Got a great topic for you this week. And Todd, when you contacted me with kind of the pseudo title for it, at first I was a little confused. I thought what you were referring to was an actual government tax. I'm like, I've never heard of this tax before. But Todd introduced this topic to me as the legacy tax. And basically, Todd, tell me if this is a fair description. It's basically the cost to your business of past activities and actions that you otherwise wouldn't do today, but you've done in the past. Does that was kind of wordy?
No, that's exactly correct. It's
Okay.
Thinking every activity, action, employee, SOP, client that you have, if you had the decision right now with the information you now have, would you do that process the same way? Would you say yes to that client? Yes to that employee? yes to that decision. That is what the legacy tax essentially is.
Okay.
And I think this is one so none of us, I mean, who loves paying taxes,
No.
right? I mean, we
No.
do everything we can. Can I expense a vehicle? Can I upgrade equipment? What write-offs do I get? Can I write off a portion of my house if I'm working out of the, all those things that we all do as business owners.
Mm-hmm.
It's not incorrect to do them, but you might actually be paying more tax on your legacy tax than what you think. So today we're just going to share a couple of stories with you of when I've paid legacy tax and when Craig has paid legacy tax. And this doesn't come in any one form to any of you. So my situations might not be yours, and the actions that I take, you might not need to take. But I do think it's great for all of us to think, because as we sit at our business every day, there's a good chance that you all, and I do it too, we're doing things because we've always done them that way.
Yeah. That is so easy to fall into. Yeah. Go ahead, Todd.
Well, even your training, Craig, we did it that way. We hired the same way, 1099 contractors forever.
Mm-hmm.
And we paid a legacy tax a long time by trying to find someone in your market, and it just didn't happen. So it wasn't until we went, hey, wait a minute, just because we've done it this way in one market, do we have to do it that way? Like the tax was, okay, Craig's doing too much. Craig feels split between taking care of the clients and keeping the shoots on the books, spending time nurturing and serving clients. And how many weeks or months or years can we go to say, hey, we're looking for someone, before it de-incentivizes Craig? There's a lot of things that can fall out from this tax.
The first thing that comes to mind, Todd, when you give that example, say in my market, was in terms of thinking of it as a tax. Yeah, you touched on de-incentivizes Craig, but the first thing I thought of was lost opportunities. So I've been at capacity in terms of the number of shoots I do since last year, and I've not really actively sought new business because of that. So what lost profit did we go through because of our old way of thinking in terms of how we hired new photographers? So that's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah. That reminds me of an Alex Hormozy thing that Eli Jones talks about a lot. But this idea of if you're doing $20K a month right now and you want to get to $40K a month, every month you spend not taking the actions to get to $40K is costing you $20K a month.
Yeah.
6 months of inactions, not focusing on client acquisition, not fixing some gaps in your services or systems, not hiring a team member. 6 months of that's $120,000 you just lost because you did not take the actions to fix that and grow to that level of your goal.
Makes sense.
So I'll be the first to share. And what we did, we're going to go through a couple examples today, and this looks differently for everyone. I thought of, when I listened to this, and this was a Darren Hardy term. I didn't make this term up. And I listened to this earlier in the week, and I thought of a time all the way back to the beginning of WOW. I was still in college. And my first clients, it was this fabulous group of realtors in Findlay, Ohio. And it was a small office, but they were very high producers. Okay, so Sharon and Kim and Bill and Ann, and they kind of took me under their wing. Sharon replied to a cold email I sent. Honestly, I think that if she would not have replied to that email, I don't know if I would have even got my business off the ground.
Wow.
So I felt this, I was so thankful for this group. And I was 20 something years old and they had 20 something year old kids. So I was almost like another one of their kids. So much so that they knew my college schedule. They knew like Tuesday afternoons I was free. They would hold all of their shoots until the days of the week that I was free.
Would they really?
They would, yeah.
Wow.
They would send me a list on Monday and say, hey, here's everything that we have. And like Sharon would CC Bill and Ann and Kim and a couple others in the office and say, hey, what else do you guys have for Todd? He's coming into town tomorrow.
Wow.
They would send me addresses. I would put them in to a mapping system. I would put them in a logical flow throughout the city, and I would give them back times of when I was going to be there. And they worked around my schedule every single time.
Todd, you were describing like every real estate photographer's dream right now. You mean I get to tell them when I'm going to be there?
Yes. Yes. No objections. They would tell, hey, Todd's coming into town. He's doing your video. He's going to be there at 1:10 p.m. Have your house ready.
Holy moly.
Houses were ready. I had keys. I had access. Like they literally rolled out the red carpet to accommodate me.
You were living the dream.
It was great. And I was making, so at the time you're all going to laugh at this, but I charged them $75 per house and I only did video.
Yeah.
Okay. A terrible video on a Canon GL2. It was just, we won't go there, but $75 a video. I would do 10 some days, Craig.
10?
10. I mean, it'd take me 20 minutes in the house.
Okay.
And so 10 houses at $75, it was $750.
Not small money for a college kid.
Yeah, I'm Bluffton, Ohio.
Bluffton.
The Whippy Dip. I mean, you get an ice cream cone for $1.25. That was good.
Back in my day, gas was 89 cents a gallon.
This is, oh my goodness. I did it again. Yeah. Thank you. I'm aging. So my point is, I felt this, like they took care of me. Like I invited to my wedding. They brought they sent wedding gifts. Like they would always take care of me. They refer me to agents at other offices. Like they wanted me to succeed.
That's awesome.
And honestly, I'm telling you, Craig, like I don't know if I would have kept going if I did not have this support from them.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay. So naturally I kept shooting for them. I graduate college, I get out, I keep shooting for them. I think we stuck to Tuesdays. I'd go up to Findlay, Ohio every Tuesday, and they kept that same arrangement. Tell everybody when Todd was going to be in town, they would accommodate my times, and I would do a lot of houses in a small amount of time. And I just charged them $75. I was happy with it. Like I was very thankful for what they did for me.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. And then we grew and we did things like we added on probably 2 or 3 years after I graduated, we added in photo to video. And I just, hey guys, we're doing photos now. Like I'll do them on your listings. And the price was still $75.
You didn't charge extra for the photos?
Well, no, I mean, I just wanted them to, I was like, oh, well, it's Sharon and Ann and Kim and Bill.
Okay. I see where this is going.
Yeah. So it's not all that bad when I'm doing it. Like that's still good money. Still to this day, if I can go up and work 5 hours and make $750, as Findlay's easy to drive, y'all. Like you're like, hey, I can't do 10. In our small little markets, like I've shot 19 before in Lima, Ohio. Like we used to rip them out. Just everything's in line. Like we literally give people, I used to give people time frames like at 117.
Oh my gosh.
Like by the fives, like 125, I'll be there. And I'd schedule my next appointment like 155 because it was 2 blocks away. So that's still good money. So these are all these things in my head that I'm going, hey, this is still good for me. Then I hired people and I'd send some employees up there and, say I was paying them $25 an hour. I'm still like, hey, this is still good money. Well, 5 years goes by. 10 years goes by. And Steve's like, hey, you're still shooting for Findlay at $75. Like, oh, Steve, they were really good to me. He's like, well, we're losing money on every job. Like, oh, well, let's just raise it $15. Let's just charge them $90 to accommodate for photos. He's probably thinking that's a dumb idea, but he does it because that's what I say.
And you're the boss. You're the boss.
Yeah. And I think you all see where this is going. We did that for a very long time until I just stepped out of it and said, Steve, I really trust you with them. I want them to be happy, but we can't lose money. We can't, not only were we losing money every shoot, but we were sending people to their shoots to not go to other shoots in different cities to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we even negotiated with our photographers, like for the Finley houses, because we get paid less and you can do a lot in one day, we'll pay you less. So this was everything like where a negative plus a negative times a negative doesn't make a positive anymore. Okay. This was just negative. Everybody's losing at this point. And the fear for me was the fact that they would leave. They would feel like I wasn't grateful for what they did for me. And I realized all along, like they were really happy to have this tool. If you think about this, back in 2004, they were the first people to do video.
Yeah.
And they did it on everything. And I looked at it from my perspective and not theirs. They were happy to do it. They sold the video. They probably got more listings than I even know. And the amount was insignificant to them. So this is a tough one for a lot of us. What clients are you paying the legacy tax on? Craig, do you think clients in general expect, if they get a deal, to have that deal forever?
Well, I don't know, Todd. I got a deal on my internet on my fiber where as long as I stay with this particular company, my rate is locked in for life. So,
okay.
But generally speaking, no. I know inflation happens, prices go up. It's just, that's part of life. It's part of business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I might not like that my prices are going up. That argument can be made.
Mm-hmm.
And that then as a business owner, that can make you nervous because your clients aren't necessarily going to like it. But if I think back to the last time we had a price or a increase in our prices, I especially reached out to our VIPs. And I remember 2 or 3 of them specifically basically said, we understand that's business prices. They said everything I just said, and they stayed with us. There was really no negative pushback. I didn't lose them as clients. Mm-hmm. It's almost kind of like they almost, one of them almost said, I wondered when this was going to happen. It's been so long. Yeah, I remember that now. I kind of had forgotten about that. Yeah. One person specifically was like, what took you so long?
Crap. Yeah. And I think that's a great example of these things that we pay as taxes business owners is clients expect this. We really appreciate what clients have done for us, and nobody ever wants to lose a client, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's just part of growth. You have to raise prices. You have to say no to clients that you said yes to in the past. And that's just nothing that any business owner doesn't deal with.
Right. Yeah. You will lose some clients with, specifically price increases. And you'll lose clients even if you haven't raised your prices when the new kid on the block comes in with stupid low prices. Mm-hmm. to attract. I've seen this talked about so much lately in the Facebook groups specifically about the number of new companies coming in with rock bottom pricing, that in the whole discussion around the devaluing of our work, our industry, and the frustration around that. But a couple of people chimed in with what I think is great insight in that, yes, you might lose some because they're price conscious. But mm-hmm. if you're providing a high level of service, there's a chance, and maybe a good chance, that your competition that's coming in with these stupid low pricing is not going to be able to provide the level of service that you have with an established company, established policies, practices, SOPs, levels of customer service. And those clients are going to miss that, and they're going to get frustrated with a bad experience with a lower price, and some of them will come back. Yeah. And I've seen that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A couple of quick perspectives here, and one of these our largest broker educated me on. The first thinking is say an agent uses someone else that has a rock bottom price, and say they save $100 or $200 off of your price, which is pretty extreme, but it might be happening. Somebody undercuts you by $200. Agent is selling the house at, say, $500,000. That agent is making $15,000 if they sell at 3%, which is an industry standard. Okay. The idea of risking a $15,000 commission check to save $200. If that agent tries the new company and everything goes terrible and their sellers cancel the contract, which I've read about before happening by people being so upset about things, is it worth saving $200 to risk a $15,000 commission check? It's
fair.
The second perspective is your agents, our agents, they get a raise every single year. Okay, I know you're telling me like, no, wait a minute, Todd. You just said the industry standard's 3%. Some of them go below that, but it's always 3%. Like they don't go up in percentage of commission. You're correct, but the houses appreciate every single year, nearly every single year.
I have a story about that, if I can share real quick.
Yeah.
So I did have one customer that did push back when we had a price increase. And that's the argument they tried to make themselves as a realtor. I'm not making any more money every month, every year.
No.
That was the exact argument. I'm still making 3%. And I uncharacteristically got a little bold. I said, the values of the homes are going up every year. You're 3% of a house this year. Next year, that value is going up. You are making more money. And our prices are not based on percentages. It's just a flat rate based on square footage. I'm not getting the same increase as you are. And they could not respond.
Okay, I was going to say, what did they do it for them?
It nicely shut them down. They knew they couldn't argue.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised they tried to make that argument with me. I'm like, no, wait a minute. No, you are making more.
Yeah, you're going down the wrong path here. Yeah. This math is not mathing.
And I'm not good at math, but I knew enough math to, no, that ain't going to fly. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Oh, cool. Well, what legacy pricing do you have that you're paying a tax on that you need to free up some margin to go get better clients that appreciate what you do, that value your services, like your customer service, et cetera?
Has our company ever experienced like old products or actions? Let's get away from pricing for a moment. Is there anything else like old services that we provided in the past that ended up costing us money in the long run? Is there anything we've discontinued or?
Yeah, so we've evolved video over the years. We've discontinued some different video products. We used to have some specialty things kind of on a side menu or on the regular menu. And we realized that they got ordered like 17 times.
Okay.
17 out of 14,000 is not a great percentage.
Right. Okay, so yeah, by having video products that no one is interested in anymore because media is constantly evolving online, yeah, we're not making money off that because we're not catching on to new trends and offering those services. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Did anything come to mind for you with our menu, Craig?
Well, I mean, I did think of the video example. There's one product we have that we still offer that I don't think is getting as much use as it used to. But we've offered, say, vertical video in different forms of vertical video that has been catching on and is getting traction. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Drone is still totally relevant.
Were you thinking of Matterport?
Oh, yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah.
Now, but in some markets, I hear Matterport is still really strong. But yeah, at least in my market, and I think several other markets, Matterport is barely getting used. But Zillow 3D has increased quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just the continuing evolution of the space. And, a great thing to look at is if you pull, say, your full order report in Spiro, pull it all, give it to AI, and just say, hey, can you break apart my services and let me know the percentage of orders in which that service was ordered?
Hmm.
There's a good chance you have a couple of them that are ordered in the single digit percentages. And you might just want to evaluate, like, what is the overhead of doing that? Is it equipment? Is it training? Is it editing? There's probably overhead of having to do that. And is it worth you doing that 20 something times a year?
Hmm. Yeah, but almost like a slow bleed that you don't necessarily notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All kind
Okay.
of back to that idea of the Mike Michalowicz book, Pumpkin Planning.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time since we talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Craig, I know you have one. Speaking of pumpkin planning, so as you were planning your business and growing, I think you had some legacy tax that you maybe paid for a little bit.
Um, yeah, almost kind of in an opposite way. Well, the first, and I've shared this in the past, but my hesitancy to spend money to get a business going, because I'm just definitely afraid of any sort of debt or overspending, getting too tight financially. And specifically, there was the example of the drone.
Mm-hmm.
I knew drone was going to be a growing part of this business and something I probably needed to do. But when I started looking at the prices of drones and all the related paraphernalia, extra batteries, cases,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera, like, I worked in ministry, Todd, so my finances were not overly abundant, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So I was afraid of spending the amount of money I would need to buy a decent drone with decent video quality and picture quality. Um, but I I was already taking a chance by starting a business, and I figured, well,
Mhm.
I know this is going to be something that's needed at some point, and it probably will continue to grow. And I had to get over that legacy of not spending, of being conservative financially. I had to get over that and spend some money.
Mm-hmm.
And the when I started offering drone service, I got probably 10 jobs booked very quickly and realized I paid this drone off already.
Yeah, you're trying to buy 10 drones, right?
Right. Right. I'm like, holy crap. I made this money back really quick. And, the light bulb went on. You got to spend money sometimes to make money. And I've said that, we've shared that multiple times on this podcast. So for me, it was kind of a reverse situation where I wasn't doing something and it was costing me. And the other example of that is I had one client that wanted me to start doing room measurements. And this was back in 2018. I think it wasn't when I first started the business, but I think it was 2018. I had this client that asked me, "Hey, while you're there, would you do the room measurements?" And I'll admit it was kind of short-sighted and maybe even a little arrogant. I'm like, I'm not your room measurement person. I'm here to do photos and video. I'm a media professional. No, I'm not going to. I didn't say it like that. Obviously, I found
Yeah.
a more diplomatic way to say it, but I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to do that. And Kubicasa wasn't a thing yet. I didn't necessarily have a really easy way to do it. I was going to have to get either a tape measure and manually do it, or get one of the laser things, which I know is a lot quicker. But I'm like, that's going to eat into my appointment time. How much, how many appointments am I going to lose on photo and video because I'm spending extra time to do this? And would I be able to even make enough to charge for this to make it worth it? And I kind of shut it down. Well, here we are in 2026, and room measurements is something most of us are doing and making money on.
Yeah.
That was a lost opportunity.
Yeah. I think that's a good one. And there are times that could go either way, though, Craig, to be fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes your agent could ask you to, they'll ask you to do anything. It doesn't mean just because an agent asks you for something, you should offer that service. But
right. Hey, can you move all the furniture in this room to this room? No.
Exactly. No. It's just track it. That's the biggest thing that we have done consistently at WOW is we look at these things. We don't say yes to one or two requests, but we track all of them and then we look at the data. If a big enough percentage of people want something from us, we begin to consider it.
All right. Going back to the opposite side of things than from what I just explained to you, Todd. What else could be considered a legacy tax that costs someone's business?
Yeah, so this one I've paid a few times, and people that got you here aren't always going to get you there.
Mm.
I'm not saying that you should fire everybody at your business. Okay.
Thank you. Can I just say thank you?
Craig, I challenged Steve and Jess with this. I think it was, a week ago, and it was our morning just touch base meeting, quick huddle. And they're looking at me like, do I still have a job here?
I remember you and I going through that a couple of years ago. I don't know if I don't know if I want to if we should share that or not.
I don't remember. Share it.
So yeah, you and I went through this exact same thing like Stephen just did. It was back when I was on the Spiro side of the business full time. I was doing business development before our name was really kind of well known. And you asked me to come down to the office. We were going to talk about the upcoming year. I put together this whole marketing plan, well, the best I could anyway, different ideas to try and get traction with the software and introducing it to people. And I was nervous, but kind of excited for the new year. And you basically shared with me, Craig, I don't have the budget to have you continue in this role. It was something like that. That's not exact quote. And the color, I think, drained from my face because in a split second, you're like, hold on, I have a different proposal. I think you could see the absolute sheer terror in my face that I was like a year in and I had left my last job to join the team. And I'm like, holy crap, I'm losing my job. And you're like, I have another proposal. And then you introduce the idea of jumping back into the WOW side and taking back over the market that I had developed on my own and caring for the clients and rebuilding business in the market. And I didn't even ask you how much you were going to pay me. I just put my hand out. I said, done. That's how excited I was to get back into that. So anyway, there's my story. I'm going to shut up now.
Yeah, maybe my desire for awkward pauses it was not correctly placed there. So that's good for me to know. But same thing with Steve and Jess. Are we losing our jobs? Oh no. I just want to give you guys the green light to not be married to anything that I've set in the past. That could be processes, that could be systems, it could be equipment, it could be people. And I think as you grow as a business, you're going to have people that come on your team that are just instrumental to your growth. But you're going to hit a point to that if that person doesn't evolve or if that person is stuck in the past, they are going to become one of your biggest legacy taxes you pay. And I can tell you from experience, the thought and the sinking feeling in your chest when you think of having this conversation and moving on from the individual is going to be very heavy. That heaviness will probably make you put that situation off. You'll probably justify some things. You might make accommodations for this individual. Those accommodations set improper expectations for everyone else. That employee is seen as protected or privileged, and it is a downward spiral from there. Now, I'm not saying every employer would do this, but I am saying I have paid legacy tax with people that have been here. And honestly, they have paid it too because they were here and they weren't really, the company changed. They came into the company for a reason that we weren't today. I'll just wrap this up with one thing and leave you all with one thought about employees. And this is flipping it back on you because ultimately, as the owners, it's our responsibility. Your employees sit in their car, in appointments, in the office, wherever they're at every single day, and they think one of two ways. Either, I love this job, I love where it's taking me. And they imagine themselves growing their life at your company. Or they do the opposite. They sit and they think about how great it would be and what they could do if they were not at your company.
Yeah.
There's no in between. Your employees are saying, hey, if I wasn't here, I could do X, Y, and Z. Or they say, hey, I'm so excited about what we're doing. Todd he empowers me to do my job. I get creative control. I get to create these processes. I get to manage people. I get to edit photos, whatever it may be. But that is one of two ways. And it's your job as the business owner to make sure the people, and especially the people that you want at your company, are sitting in their office and they're going, oh my goodness, this job allows me to reach my goals and dreams. And those that don't, and you don't want thinking that, every day they sit at your company, you are paying a hefty, hefty tax. And you're both unhappy. Everyone's unhappy. I've figured that out.
Todd, do you think it would be a worthwhile investment for somebody that's listening or watching right now to take even just 1 hour and think through all the legacy tax that they might be paying right now, and take an hour out of whatever else you might be doing at this time as an investment in not having to pay that tax in the future? So basically finding the exemptions that you could take, in your taxes to pay less tax. Would it be worth 1 hour?
My goodness, it would be so valuable. If you think about it, write it down. You're not going to solve them all immediately though, but if you get a list, you can then sort it by the highest tax to the lowest, and you can just begin working on it. Love that idea, Craig.
All right, good stuff.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all for tuning in. We love to hear from you. Comment below if you're on YouTube. Email hello@spiro.media if you have a question or want to reach Craig or I. The team will get it to us. We always love hearing from you. So we hope this is helpful. Be sure to take time to be thankful for the blessings in your life, and also be sure to take a breath. We'll see you all next week. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great one.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.